Okay, so for those of you who know me, I'm very opinionated and I understand it. Why? Aren't I entitled to opinions like everybody else? Yeah, but you really get it like very. I do. Well, I do. So what happens? Well, if I go to the bar for a karaoke night, I sit down at a table and I don't drink beer anymore. I used to. I don't, once in a blue moon, but I don't. Well, barflies come and sit down at my table and they want me to buy them a beer or something. I said, "You see a beer on my table?" No. Does it look like I drink beer? I know. Well, wouldn't you help me out? It's like, I, no. Sometimes they'll sit down, and they'll just sit. I don't know. Many times, just random people in the bar, will come and sit down at my table. Girls usually, because they want you to buy drinks. And, I just ignore them. And then what happens? Well, they go away. Does it happen to everybody? I don't know, but it happens to me. I don't know. I always get the feeling that um, they can't stand my presence. Last summer, I was staying at a motel, and my neighbor that moved in next door had been in jail. Not the penitentiary, but like the city jail or something. I don't know, whatever it was. And he said in the city jail, they put him in a cell, and there were some tough nuts in that jail cell. And this guy was much bigger than me, much, much bigger. He was big enough so, the average person's not going to screw out that guy because he was just big. But what he told me was some of the other guys, even bigger than him, that were in the city jail, they couldn't stand his presence. What does that mean? It means the same thing. He's in a jail cell, and the other big guy, you know, he goes to like the far corner of the cell, and he's like looking at the prison guard, like, I need to be moved out of the cell. Not because the big guy was threatening him, and I don't threaten anybody. It's simply that why would somebody with a high vibration, a high consciousness, not that high? This guy here, well, he's definitely over 200, so he's not a negative person, but not really high. Let's go with, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just going to do a muscle test here. The guy I'm thinking of, he calibrates over 200, over 300, over 210, 210, 210. So 210 doesn't sound like that number, but it really is a good number, you know, compared to people who are under 200. Oh, yeah, that's a CJ. It's an incredibly different number. It's a really high number compared to people that are under 200. So somebody at 210 who doesn't that 210 out of 1,000, yep, that seems pretty low. Well, you got to remember the top end of that. The top end of that scale is not achievable to most people. 540 is what Dr. David R. Hawkins of Consciousness Research said everybody on the planet can reach in this lifetime. So 540, that's where people should be. And that's like the happiness of a dog wagging its tail. Does it sound so hard for you to act like a dog and wag your tail when you see your loved ones? And perhaps even, some of your unloved ones. In other words, keeping a vibration of, happy dog. Well, that's kind of hard to go and say because we're not dogs. But, that gives you an idea of how we should be feeling on this planet all the time. Anyways, this guy in the jail cell at 210, the other guys didn't want to be in the cell because why? What exactly is it? It's light. People that are dark cannot stand the light. They're attracted to the light, like moths to the flame, but they hate the light too. It's a strange conundrum. What else did we want to talk about? Oh, I was talking about, like the same issue. I have the same issue because of where I am. You can learn how to muscle test. You can go on YouTube and do muscle testing for truth and learn how to do it. Anyways, I'm set at 600. Peace. Don't forget, I've been at this for, good God, I don't know, decades. So, it takes a long time to go and get yourself up there. Well, it's just that even me at my consciousness level, I have a lot of problems with people who used to be my teachers, my spiritual teachers. Yes, I do. Why? Because whatever they taught me, that was a long time ago. And, I've grown and grown and grown. I'm constantly growing. Whereas a lot of these spiritual teachers are stuck in the 70s, like the Rolling Stones album, way behind the times. And, you can't sit on your laurels even if you're a spiritual teacher. So I have a great deal of difficulty with my former spiritual teachers because they're just stuck. And they don't like me because I'm difficult. Because if they're sitting in untruth, even if they were my former teacher, if they've got some untruths that they're holding on to, I can't stand. That's not really the right way to say it. Capital I. God cannot stand lies. And given the fact I'm at 600, around me you cannot lie without getting me in your face. It's not, it's just the way it is. It's not really in my control. Is it in my control at all? Nope. No, if somebody is like full of shit in my face, well, the Spirit's going to decide whether I'm going to open my mouth and say something or if I'm going to walk away. It's not up to me to decide. Once you get to higher levels of consciousness by letting go of your ego, you let go of your ego, in comes the soul. And what is soul? It's divinity. It's your own God self that comes in. And it ain't namby-pamby. It's truth. And anything that ain't truth, it's going to bark at. It's going to bark at. Just like a dog's going to bark at a bear in the backyard. It's like, you don't fucking belong around me with your fucking pack of lies and all your fucking stupid fucking beliefs that are bullshit. So, people that are low vibe and hold on to their low vibe, they're going to get screamed at and screamed at if that's what the Spirit wants to happen for them. It's in Law of One teachings, it's called catalyst. It's simply, somebody like me comes around and somebody else who's holding on to their bullshit, and if they open their yap and start running their mouth, I may well start getting very loud, and I'm very, very much so, and I don't like doing it. Me personally, no, I'm a peaceful person. I don't want to be in conflict, but this is a conflicted world, and Law of One says people like me go around and piss people off. We certainly do, on purpose. No, Spirit makes it happen. But, the interaction with people who've got wrongly held beliefs and spouting out lies of one way or another, half-truths, they're going to get corrected if the Spirit wants me to do it. How do I know? I never know. I'm the silent witness up here. Once you let go, then soul takes over. And then what do you do when soul takes over? You spend more and more time working on letting go of control of the body. That's when, in the end, what you do is you stop telling the body what to do so soul can come forth. It's already here. It's not like you get a download of your soul into here. Your soul is already here. Well, what's the difference then between you and me? If I'm at 600 and you're at 203? Ego. Edging God out. What is it? Ego is lies. All the lies that you have, whether you're consciously aware of that they are lies or not, if you're holding on to them, that's ego. So, that's the difference. And, so what kind of problems do I have with my spiritual teachers? Well, they're all unique individuals, and it's not the same thing. But what I said earlier is just simply not growing or holding on to things that are, well, they just are not aligned with truth. And, So, people do find me a pain in the ass. I do understand it because I can see it through their own eyes that they don't like whatever is going on. All the same, people need to wake up and realize if you're having a problem with me and I'm telling you you're full of pack of lies, and I've done decades of spiritual work, serious spiritual student, don't tell me what the fuck is what. Bunch of people that didn't do jack fucking shit work on themselves for a fucking lifetime, sitting on their big stinking ego, trying to tell me the fucking truth is like, fuck, I've met so many fucking egoic people on this planet, it's like, fuck off, I don't care who you are, you're full of fucking shit, then you're full of fucking shit. But to show me somebody on this planet who isn't full of shit, I don't know, there's quite a few. I don't know. There still is a lot of people who are truth tellers. This certainly is true. How much more? Well, where are you on the scale of human consciousness? It's all about that. So again, what are you supposed to be? You're supposed to be at 540 or higher on the scale of human consciousness now. Well, it's just that Dr. David R. Hawkins, who gave us all this information, he passed along 10 years ago. And up until that point, he had been teaching and teaching. So, he was in his 80s when he kicked the bucket, and that was 10 years ago. And this information about, us being at 540, I don't know, that was 20 years ago, 25 years ago. So how long does it take for people to learn these things? Some people refuse to learn. And never mind, the world keeps moving on, even if you've been sitting on your ass for decades. So that's what it is. It's 540 unconditional love. That's where you need to be legally, according to the universe, in order to be here on planet Earth. So all you people that calibrate under 540 on the scale of human consciousness are illegal aliens here on the planet. I was born this way. Who the fuck cares? The planet's moved on. The planet's moved up in consciousness. So if you haven't moved along, then you're like flies or fleas on a dog, aren't you? Again, so if you want to raise your consciousness, if you want to stick around and reincarnate on planet Earth or go to 5D Earth without dying, you need to raise your consciousness. If you say, screw you, Bob, and a lot of people do, well, it's on you. No one's ever going to say to you that you weren't given spiritual help or a spiritual teacher that was available for questions. Do people give you questions? No. Why not? Not interested. Well, not interested in your own future as a spiritual being, then I guess you don't want to be a spiritual being. And there's a lot of people like that, People that are stuck on their booze and their Sunday football game for a whole fucking lifetime. Well, fuck off. When are you going to grow up? Really? When are you going to fucking grow up? Everyone's an adult here. When are you going to and so many people that are adults just won't act adult. So, if you got a problem with me or people say I'm an asshole, I'm not an asshole. I'm not. But if you're a low vibe person and you're calling me an asshole, then I'm going to go, fuck off, asshole. Anybody got any questions that they want to just put it in the comments? I'm not expecting anybody to. I'm so heavily censored and shadow banned.